Chapter 1. Healer, Start. You are listening at famvetv.info. I'll be there soon, really. I didn't wake up late, I'm already downstairs. Liao Su jogged into the student union building, and the security guard at the first floor greeted him with a smile. Hurriedly, he returned a smile before he continued talking on the phone. The teachers are here. If you're there, arrange the seating first. Ah. No seats. His walking pace was wrought with anxiety, but Liao Su's heart was even more anxious. He did not know how many times he had experienced student union meetings in the past 2 years, so how could he possibly be unaware of the situation? There would only be lesser people in the meeting rather than more. The stress in the student union member's voice did not recede, and Liao Su assumed that they were only trying to urge him. He did not expect that when he rushed towards the room, the supposedly quiet corridor would be bustling with activity. Liao Su was stunned for a moment. What's going on? Why are there so many people? The person who was speaking to him on the phone stepped forward to explain. Simultaneously, he shrugged his shoulders, helpless. They came here to attend the meeting. Liao Su did not believe the explanation at all. They were university students who liked to play, who liked attending meetings. Today was the last meeting of school student union in the semester, and many teachers were attending. Everything from trivial matters to official reports had to be dealt with, and it was estimated that it would take the entire afternoon, packed with one agenda item after another. Who would be willing to fork out an afternoon's worth of time? Did they feel uncomfortable sleeping in, or was it because the games that they were playing were not exciting? Che. How could I be unclear about how many people there are in the student council? Suddenly, Liao Su paused and surveyed the crowd. He saw several familiar-looking older school sisters. These school sisters were tall and pretty, and they had even guided him before. If he hadn't remembered incorrectly, a few of them had already retired from the student union. Liao Su frowned. Looking again, he realized that 90% of the people in the corridor were actually girls. He quickly pulled out his mobile phone to log into the campus network. Sure enough, a post on a university's forum was currently on fire. With only a glance, Liao Su immediately found the latest trending thread. Title: Is everyone's master ball ready? Yu. Xuezhang returned back to school today. Floor owner. Self, endorsed in born face, dog content. Attention. Attention. I have come to benefit the masses. Reliable news. Yu. Xuezhang returned to school today. Some students of the Physical Education Institute met him today on their morning run. To meet Yu. Xuezhang is their fortune. And I am envious beyond recognition. Why can't it 2026? Wait, not right, not right. Let's speak properly. Yu. Xuezhang must be back at school to attend the student union meeting this time. If you have to ask why, it is because he is the student union's president. Point 1 Sat up from my days in shock. I heard that my husband just returned. Point 2 Perhaps the first floor is being too excited. Is this real or fake? Yu. Xuezhang's competition has ended. Holy holy holy, I can't sleep anymore, I can't sleep anymore, I can't sleep anymore. Hands are shaking from excitement. Point 3 Kicked all my roommates awake. We're pouring our hearts out to a tune of upbeat music. 4 Oh my God. Once he departed, he left for half a month and he only returned when the semester was ending. Without having my fill of his attractiveness, I couldn't eat well, and now I've slimmed down by half a pound. The men are silent and the ladies are shedding tears. Point 5 One part ecstatic and one part sobbing. Even though he's back, it's going to be vacation soon. If I can see Yu. Xuezhang, I'm willing to extend the semester. I love studying. Let me study. 24 Floor owner. I say, is no one planning to go to the student union's entrance to guard to the door? 25. Floor owner, how could you do such a thing? You would be bothering Yu. Xuezhang. If you love him, don't bother him. Don't block me out. I'm really part of the student union. Point 26 In the middle of doing my make up, getting ready to go straight to the student union. Point 27 I'm tired like a dog, have yet to graduate and I see this post. I can't help but cry emotional tears. 116 I am here. Faculty of Arts, 4th row. Point 117 Studying group, raise your hands. At the second row observing for a pretty face, waiting for you. Xuezhang to show his face. Point 118 Envious soul from the west, barely managed to occupy the last row. Kakakak. 277 Damn, no seats left. Why are all of you so early? Treacherous. Cunning. Going too far. Burst into tears. 278 Is he not coming? Xuezhang, for 77 lining up outside the conference room, if I can't even see you. Xuezhang, I'll live broadcast myself eating the noodle soybean cake from the second cafeteria. 478 Hissing, is the commotion really that big? As Liao Su scrolled through the entire thread silently, his expression became more and more complicated. The members at the side felt more perplexed. Section head, what is going on? Liao Su scrunched his face. After a few seconds, the 1.80 tall man could not help but cry out, fuck, damn it. Yu Liangxing is back. Truth to be told, the existence of Yu Liangxing has caused a severe existential crisis to the entire male population of a university's campus. Before going to university, how many teenagers had yearned for a glorious student life, having pure imaginings about what life would be like after entering a prestigious school? However, who could have thought that, in a time where they finally gained freedom, where they were free to find love, a university would have an existence called Yu Liangxing? In a university pyramid, the attractiveness index was the root of all evil. And while it was normal to have a few handsome boys in faculties or the campus in general, a fact which made the ladies shriek and displeased men, the impact was usually limited and it would not be a huge detriment. But Yu Liangxing, this person, he wasn't just handsome, he was too goddamn handsome. As for the extent of his attractiveness, to put it simply, it was the sort of handsomeness which would make a person realize, this person would probably be a protagonist. When he first entered, the people who could not stand by and watch could not resist dissing him. However, Yu Liangxing was the valedictorian of his entire cohort and he took the first place during the school's sports meeting for the 3-kilometer run. When he rose to his second year, he became the president of the student union, and the school arrangements, whether big or small, were always well organized. With how well versed he was in both polite letters and martial arts, in addition to the fact that he was explosively handsome, it was hard for him to not become the ideal lover of most of the ladies in a university. With him around, the probability of the male population in a university finding a girlfriend was n percentage points lower as compared to the previous years. Although Yu Liangxing was famous, the people that interacted with him was actually quite little. Most people only caught a glimpse of him around campus or saw a picture someone took of him and posted on the internet. The ones who have heard Yu Liangxing speak were even less. All the younger school sisters who joined the student union all knew that even when it was president's turn to speak, it was always Liao Su, his roommate and friend, who would make the speech instead. After a long time, everyone acknowledged that Yu Liangxing was comparatively aloof, thereby acquiring an image that was as stable as Mount Tai about how he was a flower on a tall mountain. With the pair's setup, it became something to prod at, and the mysteriousness of it was filled to the point of bursting. Adding on Yu Liangxing's nature-defying attractiveness, and the rareness of him leaving the school for half a month, it led to the situation where there was a wave of stakeouts. While there was a lot of commotion happening outside, Yu Liangxing had just returned to the dormitory that he lived in a double-person room, and his only roommate was Liao Su. When the noisy Liao Su was not around, the dormitory was extremely quiet. Yu Liangxing put down his bag and tidied up the bed he hadn't touched for more than a month. Just as he laid down, a notification sounded from his phone. It's Liao Su, not plastic. Are you back in school? Where are you now? It's Liao Su, not plastic. Are you coming to the student union meeting or not? Link. Title. Is everyone's master ball ready? Yu Shuozhang returned back to school today. It's Liao Su, not plastic. The corridor to the conference room is about to burst. Please come over and save our lives, save our lives. Yu Liangxing frowned before replying. Get lost, how does this concern me? Having been on the road for the entire night, he was currently feeling drowsy. After reading the message, he threw his phone aside and closed his eyes, preparing to take a nap. After 10 minutes or so, Yu Liangxing suddenly sat up and rubbed the space between his eyebrows before he went to the bathroom to wash his face. Then, he went downstairs and walked around the public square located at the center of the male and female dormitory building. After doing that, Yu Liangxing waited for 10 more minutes, and the campus forum refreshed itself with the news of him being around the public square and returning back to his dormitory. Expressionlessly, he shut off his phone and laid back on his bed again. Tired. Near noon, Liao Su rushed back to the dormitory in a hustle and bustle. Just as he entered the door, he immediately shouted, "Damn! You really didn't go." Liao Su practiced sports and he was often in charge of training the freshmen, so his voice was resonant. After being yelled at by him, Yu Liangxing immediately opened his eyes. Yu Liangxing was 5 centimeters taller than the 1.80 meter tall Liao Su, and when he stood up, he was the embodiment of oppression. The eyes he had just opened were brimming with the irritability that came from poor sleep, and his handsome facial features were so fierce and malicious they could kill. Liao Su paused, looking like he had renal deficiency as he stubbornly said, Stop glaring. Am I not allowed to casually say it? If it wasn't for the people suddenly dispersing, wouldn't I be criticized for booking a conference room that was too small? It is going to be vacation soon, and it was the last meeting. I can't not want face. Look at you. Why are you glaring at me again? QAQ. The more Yu Liangxing listened to Liao Su's high-sounding voice, the more painful his headache became. Eyebrows scrunching together, his impatient appearance caused the air pressure within the dormitory to lower, as if it was beckoning a coming storm from the mountains. Finally, under Liao Su's increasingly frail expression, Yu Liangxing angrily said, "Stop being so noisy." At the instance where Yu Liangxing was rudely awakened, he was already very irritated, but the roar that he made was incredibly delicate and tender. His voice landed clear and melodiously, soft and kittenish. It was supposed to burn with anger, but upon hearing it, it sounded like coquettish loli with a taste of milk. Liao Su was no longer scared. In fact, he wanted to laugh. The room only had the two of them, and with that sentence coming right out of Yu Liangxing's mouth, Liao Su would probably be rooted to ground with astonishment if hadn't known about the secret that was only known by a scarce few. Yes, who could have guessed? Yu Liangxing, the person who was handsome to the extent where he became the campus male god, actually had a voice of kittenish Lolita once he opened his mouth. Because of this reason, Yu Liangxing barely spoke in front of anyone. During his tenure as the president of the student union, Liao Su, who was the sports section head, would speak for him. Additionally, Yu Liangxing had a bad temper. The fact that his voice was shock-inducing could be put aside first. Most of the time, whenever he wanted to let loose his temper, his tender and delicate voice only made him sound like a spoilt child when he opened his mouth. It was incapable of showing his temperament, so in a long run, he naturally spoke less. After the dangerous atmosphere disappeared, Liao Su could not help but sigh with emotion because God was truly fair. Even though he opened a door, he closed a window. He felt a sense of equilibrium and his following words held some confidence. Forget it, I won't haggle over it. Let me tell you, your voice really saved your life, or else I would have shown you attitude. Once his words landed, Yu Liangxing immediately punched the sandbag that was hanging from the ceiling, causing a deep indent to appear on the surface with an accompanying muffled and dull noise. Suddenly, Liao Su felt that what he was hitting was not the sandbag, but his head instead. Yu Liangxing said, "What did you just say?" Liao Su swallowed his saliva, raised his head and smiled, "Hey, my brother, let's go and have a meal, my treat." Listen to the full novel at FameTV.info, direct link in the description.